So let's go back and see what our iteration plan has been so far. So we completed the planning. We completed iteration 2, mixing using green, and iteration 3, adding the green. So iteration 4 is adding the blue and the alpha. Then we move on to creating the new view. So let's go ahead and follow our process for this last, for iteration 4. So iteration 4. So first step is problem formulation. Which basically means define the scope. What exactly are we trying to accomplish in this iteration? And in the scope, we'll say we want to user enters all 4 values for red, green, blue, and alpha. And the new color is created and displayed, which we have done before. Solution formulation. How are we going to formulate the solution? And now, oops, sorry. You probably know that by now. We've done it 2 times. We'll say model, and in the model, the previous one will no change to previous model. And we need to add the blue, which we will use a float for it. And we need alpha, which we will use float for it. We will need to create 2 new sliders, which we used before as well. The view will have to add a slider for blue and another for alpha. And you're right, we will need to connect both to the change color, so that when the user moves each of them, the color changes as well. And we need to connect or to make outlet connection to each slider, so we can retrieve the value. The controller is similar when it's already answered before, so no change. But we need now when when we will add the change value for the green. There is a button here that I click on by mistake, so that's what's opening the big screen. For the blue and the alpha. And the steps similar. We will need to retrieve, this is the what, retrieve the blue and alpha values, change the color creation to use those values, and the third step, which is assigning the color to the background, no change, it's already there. The third step here is the solution implementation. Very similar to the previous iteration. Add 2 sliders, make or connect the function to the sliders. Connect to the sliders at outlets. And modify the function to add instructions to retrieve the blue and alpha values, and then modify the function call to UI color to use the blue and alpha values. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll bring the utility area, switch to the storyboard, and here is the slider. So add one more slider here. And this will be our blue slider. So I'm going to color this blue. And that's all. And then I need another one for the alpha. And I'm going to color the alpha black. And we will set the initial value for alpha to be 1. Now that I did this, I need to bring in the assistant editor and first connect. So here, hovering over the function, it's connected to the green and the red. We need to move to connect it to the blue. So now it's connected to all three. We need to connect it to the slider. So now changing the value in any of the sliders will trigger the operating system to notify this function to execute its instructions. Because we need to retrieve the actual value from blue, so we need to create an outlet connection to the blue slider. So I'm going to call this slider blue. And I need to do the same thing for the alpha. So select the alpha, Control and alpha. So slide alpha. Then the next step is I need to modify those. So let me go back to the standard editor and go to the controller. So come here and add the other two. Retrieve the value of the blue slider. So I go to the slider and say blue, and then I want the value, and then assign this value to a new variable in memory. I'm going to call it blue value, and I can leave it, not specify the type, to just show you that. And then 1.4, retrieve the value of the alpha slider. So I'll say let alpha value equal slide alpha dot value. Then instead of using 0 for blue, I'll use the blue value, but I already know I have to convert it, so I say CG float and then blue value. And instead of the alpha being 1, I change the alpha as well. So I use CG float and say alpha value. The last step will not change because now the color is created using all 4 values. So assigning that new color to the background is not going to change. Now I can go and test. So any of these sliders, if I change them, they will change everything. So here is the blue. Let me put the green to 0, the red to 0. So this is your full blue range. Let me bring in the green. So So now I have the blue and I am mixing the green. Let me bring in the red. So the full red, green, and blue give you the white. Take out the blue, you get the mix of the green and the red. And now the user have the full capacity to create the colors that they want. The alpha, what it does, it removes the, it makes the color transparent to the background. So see what happens when I reduce the value of alpha. So now what you see, the color became the same as the background. It's transparent, showing only the background. So if you want to make the color lighter, you change the alpha. If you want to see the full color, keep the alpha at the 1. So that's iteration number 3. Now this is very nice, and we have a color palette, but what is that color? We don't know. Like, I can see it, but I don't know what kind of color. What if you loved this color and you want to use it in a picture? What is that color? What is this value of red, green, and blue? We don't know. Wouldn't it be nice if I can maybe display here what this value is? I actually think this is nice. So let's add that. I know that we have an iteration 5 that we're gonna do another thing over here. It's supposed to move. I don't know why this thing is not moving when I go to the side like that. So if you go to the list of iterations, I want to add an iteration here, iteration number 5, to set the value, or not to set, to display the color values. It's a nice addition. And then make the navigations a later iterations. This is what I call evolving the vision. You're not really stuck with what you originally started with. The iterative allow you to discover new thing and come back and add it to your planning. So in the next video, we will display the values of the color.